This is the calm before the sleep. The nightly bedtime story with no real plot and no important characters. All you need to do is find a comfortable position, let your eyes flutter shut, and let yourself drift away into a cozy, sleepy world. Your story begins now. Welcome to the pleasant garden. I love gardening so much. I usually plant flowers, but fruits and vegetables are also fun to grow. I live in the countryside and the climate is nice and temperate during the summer, so I plant all kinds of things. I love going to the seed store during their sale. I hope to get a variety of flowers so I can make a rainbow mix of color. I also collect flowers from my travels and I am an amateur florist. It takes a lot of work to keep the garden neat, but it's very satisfying to look at it from the balcony in the summer. I can't wait to grow new plants to add to the garden, which grows year-round. I believe we all deserve to have something nice to look at, and I hope that my garden will bring happiness to others. My garden always makes me happy and brings me much happiness. Gardening is very relaxing. There is something so special about the smell of dirt. I find it's my favorite scent. I love gardening in autumn. It's such a beautiful time of year. It's so exciting to see the beauty of nature change from green to red and orange. I love sharing my garden with others. Everyone seems to be so happy when they come to visit, and it makes me happy to have visitors. My favorite time to go on a walk in my garden is during the sunset. It always makes me so happy. It's the perfect time to reflect on the day and enjoy the end of the day. I hope my garden will be a source of happiness and beauty for all my guests. I hope you enjoy it and will come back again. I recently went on a relaxing trip. The garden seems to have grown in size while I was away. I decided to dedicate this story to my beautiful garden. I love all the color, flowers, fruit, vegetables and the surroundings. Even though the garden is small, there are a lot of plants and lots of different areas for it. My favorite part of the garden is the waterfall. I really love the sound of the water. It's so peaceful and relaxing. I have enjoyed having friends and family visit my garden. I think it makes them happy because there is always something beautiful to look at. Now I will forever be grateful for my beautiful garden and the happiness it brings to my family and me. It is my most favorite place to visit in the world. I always come here to relax and enjoy some of the wonderful atmosphere and natural beauty of my garden. I can relax in peace, and with the constant sound of water flowing, I can find my new center. My main passion is plants. Although I love dogs, I do not have one of my own. I prefer seeing my own ideas and special traits of animals on plants. This garden is special because it brings life back to people and plants. There is an island in the middle of the garden. When I was little, I thought it was just a flower. My niece, Anne, really liked it, so I made her an island and put some grass in. I love it. The island is the center of the garden, making it very peaceful and beautiful. I love my garden and I hope that everyone will enjoy it as much as I do. I love my garden. It is my second home. I love seeing the different flowers in the spring and the leaves changing in the fall. I love to go out there and just look at it. It makes me happy when I see all the different colors and flowers. It is a nice place to be. My garden is my pride and joy. I spend a lot of time out there. It is very peaceful and beautiful. I love the wildlife and watching them. I like watching the birds and the butterflies. It is nice to see the different colors of flowers and the different types of flowers. I like listening to the birds chirping and see the different butterflies. I love watching the squirrels running around. I really like visiting my garden. I enjoy it every day. It always makes me happy to come out there. I garden for about 4 hours every day. I go out and trim the bushes, do some weeding, cut the grass, and mow. My favorite part is when the tulips start to bloom, after the start of summer. It's a perfect time to come out and spend time in my garden. My garden is a 15-minute bike ride away. It's right next to the apple orchard. My favorite part about my garden is the cherry tree. It's really peaceful in the summertime. You can stand underneath the awning of the shed, and you can see the whole garden. I was very excited when I got this garden. I love having the space to grow everything I want. When I first visited the garden, I fell in love with the flowers. It has a wonderful view of the neighborhood and of the area. I enjoy coming out here, watering my plants, picking berries to snack on, and just relaxing. I enjoy talking with the other gardeners here, too. The garden is a happy place and is very relaxing. It is perfect because it is on a tree-lined street, and has a great view. At the end of the season, you can have all sorts of fruits and vegetables from your garden. I also recommend gardening to anyone who wants to be more in touch with nature and wants to start growing their own produce. I hope people will visit my garden. I grew it to be a welcoming place for people who want to learn more about growing plants. They will see that gardening is not difficult and is very rewarding. I always do my research before adding anything to my garden. Growing a garden is very relaxing, and eating food that you have grown yourself is incredibly satisfying. I am glad that I can share my love for gardening with others. I have very good food and drink from my garden. I grow fruit and vegetables for my own uses, but I also use the garden to grow gifts for my neighbors. It is very satisfying to see people look around, taking in all the beauty that the garden has to offer. Some of the best flavors of food and drink that come from my garden include ingredients grown by my neighbor. I grow delicious strawberries, and my neighbor grows tart, yellow lemons. With both of our ingredients, we make sublime strawberry lemonade. I love bringing friends over for coffee and fresh juice, and a walk in my garden, and hearing people talk about their feelings on gardening. I also love sharing my knowledge of planting, growing, and harvesting with others. I have always loved the outdoors. Growing your own food and having control over your plants is a great feeling, and there are many, many benefits to doing it. My garden is a place where I can get away from work, stress and anxiety, and do something enjoyable with my time. I got an assortment of flowers from my cousin's garden, and worked with them on the front of my house. My backyard used to be overgrown and full of weeds, and if it weren't for my green thumb, it would probably still look like that. I have grown a gorgeous garden in my backyard. It is practically unrecognizable now. This garden is like my very own private resort. I have flowers and herbs growing all over the place, and watching them grow is so much fun. I love it when I go outside to my backyard and everything is blooming and beautiful. To sit outside in my yard and look at my plants that are getting ready to flower is very relaxing. I have a small pond running through my backyard, and a small stone bridge running over it. I built a path through my garden that leads to a raspberry patch. Sometimes I find baby bunnies in the raspberry patch. I used to get annoyed that animals were eating my fruit, but once I actually saw the baby bunnies, I no longer minded. They are so cute and sweet. I am honored to be growing food for them. I live in a quiet neighborhood in a one-story bungalow. I love gardening for a number of reasons. It's a nice hobby that gives you a sense of calm in a sometimes troubled world. The sun is great for relaxation, and you can sit by your backyard plants and smile to yourself. The smell of fresh vegetables and herbs always brings me great joy. It feels good to know that I am helping to feed myself with vegetables, and just thinking about them fills me with peace. Although gardening is a fun hobby, it has important educational qualities as well. You get to know the importance of caring for your vegetables, learning about botany, having respect for nature and in knowing that you are helping to preserve the world. There are several benefits to gardening. There is the lovely feeling of great accomplishment in turning your yard into a new place to relax. I also find it challenging at times, although that is my kind of environment. Things have to be challenging if your plants are going to grow well. Growing a garden is a great way to enjoy nature. I take my puppy out with me when I am gardening. My puppy loves the outdoors. He loves smelling the earth and going for short walks. My puppy brings me a lot of joy. When I sit under the cherry tree in my backyard and read a book, I love when my little puppy comes up to me to cuddle. My favorite thing to do is pick veggies. I usually go out and make a nice salad and sprinkle on some herbs and toppings. The vegetables taste much fresher and more delicious than what I can buy at the store. I plan on doing this even when I am older, because I know I will still be able to enjoy it. I'm very happy with the garden and I spend most of my free time out there. It might sound weird, but if you grow vegetables in your yard, they become an extension of you. Being able to work outside and plant the things that I want to see grow brings me great joy. I was raised on an organic farm where our farm cats provided us hours of fun. When I was given the opportunity to put a farm in my backyard, it was like déjà vu. When you put your whole self into something, it creates a new part of you. You also realize that every living thing has a story to tell, and you want to hear it. Gardening is relaxing and beautiful. It brings balance and peace into my life. Growing up in a small, remote location, I felt isolated. Now when I garden, I am never alone. The things I need to know about the world, food, animals, plants and people, never leave my head. I have learned to work in nature, and there is something about it that is soothing. There is something about the act of planting that brings calmness to my soul. Creating a nature sanctuary in your yard is like having your own home forest. It will provide the best variety of plants and flowers for your garden. Putting herbs in your garden is a great way to add flavor and healing. Along with herbs, there are many different kinds of trees that are perfect to plant for fruit and nuts. I planted some spring mix, some watermelons, and some strawberries and carrots. I want to grow my own summer salad. I love growing watermelons in my backyard garden. Watermelons grow so easily if they have enough room to grow. There are so many different kinds of watermelons you can get to use for different kinds of dishes. I hope you enjoy these ideas to assist you in your gardening experience. Whether it is your backyard, garden in someone else's yard, or city park, plants are there to please your garden-loving soul. I also have a big blackberry bush in my backyard. The bunnies will sometimes eat these berries as well. I always leave some behind for the bunnies. I have studied botany for many years, and I have learned some of the science behind my gardening. A natural white sap that is a vital part of the birch tree's long lifespan. It is said that this sap is the very reason the woodland species are so vulnerable to predators of the plant. The common name given to this garden sapling is candy pop. In English this translates to Asian mulberry. The tree is one of the hardiest of the apple varieties. It can withstand the cold climates of England and Wales. It is a fast-growing tree, one which produces delicate white fruit in early fall. It is well suited for those uses that is harvested throughout the year. Mulberry leaves are used to dye some wild plant materials. Banyan trees, native of southwestern India, can be either an attractive species. This is a deciduous tree. The leaves of the tree do not make an appearance until it begins to shed its bark. It loses these leaves when dry weather increases the heat of the foliage. Fresh Arugula is a herbaceous species native to eastern North America. This year's arugula crop is less robust than other years due to the late frost, but each is enough to get you started on a small summer salad. The ground provides a very subtle and pleasant flavor when eaten. In summer they can be used for a stir-fry. There is a whole lot you can learn about the world just by gardening. I used to not enjoy science classes in school, but learning about it in nature is just so much fun. Being out in nature alone is even better. Gardening allows you to grow your vegetables while also growing the trees and plants that are a part of the natural environment. Gardening helps people like me connect with nature on a whole new level. Don't take your gardening too seriously, as sometimes things do not go as planned. That is okay. Even if you do not yield the amming of fruits and vegetables that you want, you probably still got to spend some time outside, in the sun. We used to have a lemon tree in the back of our home. My friends still talk about it, too. It is so nice to go to the backyard, pick a basket of lemons, and use them to make a lemon meringue pie. Sometimes I use apple blossoms to decorate the top of the pie as well. It is a big hit among my friends and family. My neighbors will sometimes buy the lemons to make them into lemonade or an ice cream sherbet. They also make the most delicious lemon and orange marmalade you have ever tasted. Our yard has about 5 blueberry bushes and 4 elderberry bushes. The elderberries made the sweetest juice and were used to make one of our favorite drinks. Those of you who have spent time in local colleges know what I am talking about. A blue raspberry drink. Simply put, you need a blueberry bush, elderberry bush, and a cup of blueberry juice. You can make this drink at home with your blueberries. You also need a cocktail making kit, and a piece of ripe kiwi fruit. You will need 2 small half-pint to 1-pint glasses and at least 4 slices of lemon. Pick your raspberries and thinly slice a lemon. Fill your half-pint and pint glasses halfway with lemon juice and ice. Lastly, put in 4 fingers of vodka. Next, muddle in the blueberries and the kiwi. Place the lid on your glasses, and pop them in the refrigerator. The blueberry juice has a natural berry taste that sweetens it the more you drink it. You can put in a fresh lime as well, but if you don't have one, you can juice a lime and cut the rind before placing in your glasses. These drinks are typically stored in Moscow Mule mugs. Fresh sweet peaches are just about to arrive in the farmer's market. Though I would mention the recipe for my famous peach jam. Cut the peach tops off once they are bruised to encourage more dark coloring, and fill a double boiler with just enough water to cover the fruit, turning heat on low. Wrap the bowl with an equal amount of aluminum foil, press the ends together and place in the oven for 30 minutes. Remove the fruit from the bowl, roll it in brown sugar and coarse sea salt and place on the stovetop over the simmering water. Do not boil. When the peaches have cooled off, squeeze out all the juices. Place the bowl of fruit back in the double boiler over the simmering water. Place a paper coffee filter over the fruit and allow it to cook until most of the moisture evaporates, which will take 1 to 2 hours. The fruit will collapse on top of the paper because of the fat and sugar content. Remove the peaches from the pan and place in a bowl with equal amounts of low-fat, low-calorie milk and thick whole-milk Greek yogurt. Leave at room temperature for 1 hour before serving. Everyone loves my peach jam. I put it in little jars and sell it at the farmer's market. It is so much fun to sell. I also put out graham crackers for people to taste it with. Growing my own peaches and making jam, as well as the blueberry sauce from our elderberries, was a huge learning curve. You learn from your mistakes, but you get so much better at it over time. These are some of the benefits to having a garden right in your backyard. You also get to have your own secret herbs and spices and build your own simple pantry for all your meals. By the end of the summer, your new friends in the greenhouse will be 2 lemon trees or 2 strawberry plants. Help them get started by spreading some potting soil around the plants. Remove all summer heat by covering some open areas with newspaper and setting up a bird bath nearby. Later in the season, you can lay out a path of fresh grass seed in the empty garden bed. The yield has been good this week. First, I moved everything out to the patio, Then I spread out newspaper and used newspaper inserts as mounds for the flowers. I added the first layer of soil. That was almost enough. I moved everything back and added another layer of soil. I moved the seeds and the transplants into their permanent homes in the garden. Finally, I put in a layer of growing medium. I am planning to do some landscaping. I think I will add a tile path and a fountain. I want to put the fountain in the center of my rose bushes. It will look so beautiful surrounded by all those deep red flowers. My rose bushes smell just incredible when the breeze blows in the right direction. I am so excited for the roses to bloom. My raised garden beds with the tulips are nearby. Those will border the path leading up to the fountain. While I was at the hardware store, I picked up some bamboo to line the pots. Hopefully it will provide some additional heat in the winter. I am eager to have everything in the ground, but then I have to wait for everything to grow. I am planning to plant a lot of zucchini this year. My recipe for zucchini muffins comes from my great-grandmother. I added a handful of chopped walnuts to the batter. My zucchinis are just starting to sprout, and I am so excited to see what they become. It is a great weekend to be a gardener. The forecast is sunny and 60 degrees. My little greenhouse is just waiting for me. The baskets of peaches are now sitting on the patio, looking delicious. I have strawberries in the refrigerator. The peaches need to be picked soon. I will be jamming up a storm again soon. My recipe is all a mix of my own tricks. I started with these little custom terracotta pots. They are amazing, and a bit expensive, but so worth it. You can buy a huge bag of potting soil, and that will last you forever. These aren't the perfect containers, but they have gotten me by for years. You will need to put your own soil in the containers. These containers have a drainage hole, so I am storing my peaches in them, with about 1 inch of soil on top. This is what I used to hold my growing medium. This is a fabulous recipe for creating your own grow mix. I am using a lot of Italian potting soil. I am starting out with my peaches, but I will be adding carrots, celery, onions, to the list of things I will grow in my smaller backyard plot. I will be taking pictures so that you can see the results of this experiment. I'm thinking maybe basil next. I know it is all hard work, but I enjoy the research and the results. I enjoy the challenge of keeping plants healthy, and keeping my backyard beautiful. I will tell you a secret. Sometimes my patio looks like an arbor made out of giant branches and homemade trellises. with a glass roof that is heavy enough to keep the rainstorms out. The size of my patio makes it easy to harvest a huge amount of greens in a short amount of time. And when I am done, I just throw the tops in my biggest compost bin, and they all get recycled into the soil. Here is a picture of my growing space. The center is the strawberry patch. I should put a bright red tablecloth over the table, because the strawberries are extremely beautiful and that would just make them pop. There are containers full of lettuce, spinach, chives, and beets. I can also see a bit of bell pepper growing behind some of the lettuce. There is a little succulent where the trellises meet, and some oregano, sage, thyme and basil growing in containers. And in the right corner, there are 2 compost bins filled with food scraps. While I love growing things in my own garden, there are also a lot of benefits to baking with your fresh produce. One thing I have been really happy about is my experiment with sweet potatoes. I have used a few sweet potatoes in my chocolate chip cookies. I can't say that they were perfect, but they sure were fun to make. The key is to bake them for about 20 minutes. Then remove from the oven and cover with plastic wrap for a few minutes. It is best to let them cool before slicing, or they can get stale in the kitchen. They don't have the same sweetness of sugar, but they have a great flavor and a nice texture. If you don't have an oven big enough for 2 baking sheets, you can just bake them on a cookie sheet. I baked this wonderful cinnamon upside-down cake, and used my first sweet potato of the season to sweeten it. After the cooking time, I took the cake out of the oven, but kept it covered with foil for a few minutes. I sliced it into wedges and scooped it into a bowl. Then I added a thick layer of coconut, a drizzle of chocolate, and then I topped it with the shredded coconut and cinnamon. The cake was so good that I ate the entire pan. Next time, I will save some for my guests. The sweet potato pieces are a perfect addition to the cake, and really add to the flavor. This month, my sweet potatoes will probably be purple Carolina sweet potatoes, which are so much fun to grow. The seeds are true heritage seeds from a farmer down the street. I also started growing some cabbage recently. I tried 2 varieties of cabbages that I want to start growing. I recently started cooking with cabbage, so I am very excited to have them fresh from my garden. I have 2 Asian-style cabbage dishes planned, and a sweet potato coleslaw with grilled chicken. I would like to try a variation of coleslaw with lettuce instead of cabbage, but I will have to wait and see. I am super excited about the coleslaw, which will be a bit different from what you would get in a deli. I will be slicing up the cabbage, and tossing it with a mixture of honey, shredded carrot, and peanut sauce. I am also going to try cooking it with mustard and soy sauce. I will take some photos and send him around later. I am also trying to get a head start on making some pickles. I recently grew my own cucumbers, so I am excited to try this recipe. The recipe I am using is from the Pickle Bible. It calls for whole, skinned and seeded cucumbers. I am going to slice the cucumbers in thin strips, and put them in a bowl with a tablespoon of lemon juice. The lemon juice will add a great tartness, and the acid will make the pickles very crisp. I am looking forward to some crispy, sweet pickles, with grilled chicken for dinner. I have also been preparing my garden for spring. I ordered some seeds, and am anxiously waiting for the packages to arrive. I have some new carrots, beets, lettuce, onions, and a few different herbs. I just hope the seeds will sprout well, and I don't have to replant all of them. I am so excited to start planting. Spring always makes me so happy, and I can't wait to get the soil ready and start planting. I want to grow some summer squash, which I am so excited about. It has been a while since I have grown any, and I am really looking forward to the fruit. I am going to be cooking up a storm this week, and will share some of my favorite recipes with you. I will certainly be sharing the sweet potato chip fries, the Asian coleslaw, and my raspberry tart recipes. It is just so much fun to create these recipes with items that I have grown with my own hard work. I just started some seedlings indoors recently. I am really looking forward to experimenting with them in my garden. I am hoping that there will be more cucumbers that sprout soon, so I can prepare yet another Asian-inspired dish. These cucumbers are just the perfect size to add sweetness and crunch to any dish. I am excited to get the outdoor gardening started, and I hope that you will join me on my journey. The fall season is such a beautiful time, when the summer has flown by, and the garden needs to be maintained. I hope you are enjoying the changing seasons in your garden. I have to say, spring is my favorite time of year, and is my favorite time of year to enjoy meals with friends. I just can't wait for spring, and I am looking forward to the cooler days. It is one of the best times of year. I will be planting the carrots soon, and will be preparing some new recipes with them. The Asian cucumbers are just about to start growing, so I am hoping to make several Asian-style meals with them. I am also excited to share my pickled beets recipe with you, and my Asian coleslaw recipe. It will be my first pickle recipe ever, so I am excited about trying it. I am always looking for new, simple recipes that I can prepare quickly, and are great tasting. I hope that I have been able to find a few new favorites for you. I think that fall is a great time to experiment with different flavors, and to try a variety of recipes. Soon I want to add a koi pond into my garden. It will be lined with medium-sized water stones. I will put some lily pads on top of the pond, and fill it with orange koi. The pond will also have a small waterfall, so it will be a very pretty spot. I love the fall colors, so I am hoping that the koi will also. Next to the koi pond, I am going to add some baby pine trees that will provide a nice glow of fall color. I think that they will add great decoration to the garden, as well as the pond. I will also be adding some purple irises around the pond to add a beautiful pop of purple to my garden. I am excited to add these items to my koi pond. I think that they will bring much happiness to my garden, and my garden will be transformed with the beautiful colors of fall. In the koi pond, I am also going to add a few petunias. They will add more color, and be just the right size to fill the pond, as well as add a splash of color to the garden. I am always looking for colorful additions to my garden. I am especially looking forward to the changes to the colors of the leaves. This will be my first year with colorful leaves, so I am looking forward to the changes. I am already thinking about my Christmas decorations. I love fall, so that means that I am looking forward to winter, and all of the wonderful ways to decorate my home and my Christmas tree with them. I want to make sure that I have a very pretty garden in place when Christmas arrives, so I am going to be adding all of my fall decorations, as well as some new decorations for the holidays. I just can't wait to use all of my beautiful decorations again, and to enjoy them in my new yard. One of my favorite fall decorations is my papier-mâché corn cob wreaths. I make them for both the garden and for the house. My papier-mâché sea wreaths are very colorful. I am also planning on making a few new decorations, which will all be more colorful than my corn cob decorations. Decorating the garden is such a joy, and I am always excited for it. The world is your oyster, so to speak. The sky is the limit, so do what you want to do. This is a very special time of year, and I want to share it with you. I recently got a puppy, so I would have a companion during my gardening. My little ginger girl came home today, and she is a bundle of joy. She is almost 4 months old. She is very alert and inquisitive. She does not like to be held very long, but she enjoys belly rubs. When I let her out of her carry basket, she goes straight to the apple trees, and looks for the smallest, sweetest apples that she can find. She has very silky fur, and is a wonderful companion. My puppy is very playful, and she loves to romp around and play with toys. I love my ginger puppy. Having a puppy in the garden is a fun way to spend a day. She is so much fun to watch. She loves to play, and she does it for hours. It is wonderful to see her little head popping up every now and then digging her paws in the dirt. She is really a great companion. My puppy goes out back with me, and she has a very mellow-sounding bark. She barks when she sees something new. It is like she is saying hello. My puppy loves to go outside, and she loves to play in the yard. She plays with her toys, and she loves to watch the birds and the rabbits in the raspberry patch. I have some bird feeders in my backyard, and I always put out some dog food for them. My puppy loves to play with my bird feeders. I put out a couple of dog dishes for her, and I always put some of the dog food out with it. She thinks she is a bird, and she plays with the bird feeder like it is meant for her. She also likes to play fetch, and she loves to dig in the dirt. She especially likes to dig in the garden. It makes for quite a mess, but I don't mind a little dirt every now and then. She loves to play in the mud. She is my little dirt fairy. This is a beautiful time of year, and I am enjoying the fall foliage. We can look forward to wonderful colors in the trees and on the ground. There is so much to enjoy in the fall. This is such a beautiful time of year, and I am so glad that I live in a community that has beautiful fall foliage. My rose bushes are full of gorgeous red and yellow roses. The yellow roses will bloom in the next few weeks. I am really looking forward to those. I love to smell the roses. I have the best smelling rose bushes. I have been enjoying the fall color in my neighborhood. I look forward to getting to see my neighbors, and having a cup of tea with them. It is nice to see others during the day. I have never been an early riser. I like to sleep in late. It is just my personality. Luckily, it is just as fun to garden in the afternoon as it is in the morning. I will sometimes bring my tea out back with me and sit on a stone bench that I keep next to my petunia patch. Just me, my tea, and my petunias. Do you have any special spots that you enjoy in the fall? I love apple picking, and I will be doing that again soon. I also love to go to the cider mill. I don't go that often, but I have been a couple of times in the fall. There is nothing quite like fresh pressed apple cider. I love to bake apple pies and carrot cake. I used to make a mean apple pie, but now I prefer apple crumble with vanilla ice cream. It is so fun to use fresh apples and carrots from my garden to bake desserts. Carrot cake is my favorite. It is such a joy to have such good apples and carrots. I am also hoping to grow a perfect pumpkin in my new patch, because pumpkin pie is the absolute best fall treat. Pumpkin pie is the ultimate fall treat, and I am so looking forward to eating a delicious pumpkin pie with my tea. I like to sit on the deck in the fall. I like to put my feet up in a rocking chair and just enjoy the cool breeze and look at the trees. I have a big maple tree in their backyard, which I harvest maple syrup from. The syrup tastes so good, and it tastes even better with pumpkin pancakes. In fall I love to go outside with my puppy, and I take her for walks. She loves the cool breeze, the beautiful colors, and she loves to see all the wildlife out in my neighborhood. It is always fun to watch the squirrels poking their heads out of my garden. The squirrels are one of the greatest things about fall. They are always running around in my neighborhood. They are always going in and out of the trees, and they always seem to be in the middle of something. I especially love watching the squirrels who live in the old growth trees. They are always running around in the trees and always playing in the leaves. The leaves are amazing this time of year. I especially love seeing the brilliant red and orange trees. There is so much beauty in the fall. There are so many fall events, so much to celebrate, and the weather is really just perfect. My favorite fall event is the harvest party at my community center. We gather to celebrate the good work of the harvest moon. We get to enjoy the fruits of the harvest. The new potatoes, the corn, the sweet potatoes, and the squash are just wonderful. I just love to take some home with me. Now the colors are starting to change. The trees are starting to put on their gorgeous fall colors. It is such a joy to see all of the beautiful colors, and it is so wonderful to smell the lovely fall air. You really can't beat the fall smells. I love the smell of apple pie and apple cider in the fall. It is just perfect. I have a large pot of apple cider on my stove right now. I make my apple cider from the apples that I harvest in my garden. I love the cider, and I love to share it with friends and family. In the fall, I am so thankful to live in a community where we have so many beautiful things to see and do. My garden is a very special place, and it is the reason I live in the country. The beautiful weather, the beautiful trees, the wildlife, the beautiful colors, the amazing maple syrup, the apple cider, and the food are what make the fall really special for me. There is just something magical about the fall. My garden is where I go for inspiration, for quiet time, and for renewal. I am a very fortunate person to live in such a beautiful place and to have such a wonderful experience of the seasons. In the fall I am most thankful to have such a wonderful garden. I am very thankful to my sister for encouraging me to start a garden, and to my friends who have taught me so much about gardening. They are all an inspiration. My garden is my paradise. In the fall, I am also thankful for our amazing local farmers. This year the gardeners at the farmers' market are growing more than apples, cabbage, and the usual herbs. They have started growing pumpkins and sweet potatoes as well. One of my friends at the farmers' market was kind enough to let me try a sweet potato. I loved it. I will be buying 1 or 2 more sweet potatoes from him this year. I know that they will taste great, and I am so excited to try baking with them. I cannot wait. The thought of growing a perfect pumpkin is just exciting. I have always wanted to grow a pumpkin. It may be a challenge, but I will certainly give it my best shot. Fall is a wonderful time of the year. It is just the most wonderful time of the year. It is a time to kick back, relax, take a hike, get into the fall mood, and enjoy the colors. You really cannot beat the colors of fall. Especially when you have a beautiful garden, and you know you always have a pleasant place to go and relax.